Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Chiquis, and you've reached the voicemail box for Dear Chiquis. I'm here to give you advice on anything and everything you need help with. Maybe you're going through a breakup. Maybe you're having issues with your family. Or maybe you need help figuring out how to balance your checkbook or how to start a business. Whatever the case is, I want to hear from you. Remember, these are my thoughts and opinions, and if you're suffering from an issue or hardship, you should seek help from a qualified professional. All right, now go ahead and leave your question at the sound of the beep.
Hi, Chiquis. I just wanted to ask you, how did you manage taking care of your siblings and raising them pretty much for your whole life? How did you balance your work life and your relationships while also taking care of your siblings? Because I am currently taking care of my tia, and she has breast cancer. And when I heard the news, and I was even given a dream that she was going to be diagnosed with breast cancer. And I feel like it's been put on me by God to take care of her and kind of prepare me for this because of how close we are. But I'm starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed, and just the weight of her situation is all on me, and I feel like I'm drowning. So I just wanted to ask, how did you manage to take care of your siblings and also keep your sanity and not feel so overwhelmed? I know that you have, because I've watched your shows and everything, but what tips can you give me to help relieve that or make it better?
Victoria, what a beautiful human being. Wow, I know it's a difficult situation, taking the responsibility for someone else's life like I did with my siblings. When I was in the moment living that, there were times of frustration, and I was just like, why? Why am I the oldest? Why do I have such responsibility? Why can't I just be a normal 16-year-old that goes out with her friends? And I'm not going to say that I didn't complain about it. There were times that I did, a lot, Now, as years have passed and I understand, even then I was like, I know I'm doing God's work. I know this is what I'm supposed to do. I felt what you feel. You're like, okay, God wants me to do this, but that doesn't mean that everything that God wants us to do is going to be easy. First of all, what you're doing is beautiful. And there's a big, huge blessing that's coming to your life. I don't doubt that at all. But I know you are in the middle of it, and it's a lot. So I'm sending you a big hug, first of all, a big, big hug full of light, because I can hear it and I can feel what you're feeling. I don't know if you work out, but that will definitely help. I know it sounds silly, but working out and sweating and releasing, that's why I love boxing so much, because boxing has helped me just release frustration and tension and stress. Just hitting something. I even told Johnny yesterday, my brother, I was like, he was feeling frustrated. I said, go upstairs and hit the punching bag. You need to just let it out. Go yell. Sometimes, you know what? I used to do that. I used to go in my backyard and yell loud, just let it out. And then you feel better. It's because you have a lot of tension in your body, and that's okay. It's a lot that you're doing, but you also need to release. So what are positive ways of releasing? Yelling out loud by yourself in your backyard, outside, hitting a punching bag, working out, doing cardio, prayer. You guys know I'm a huge woman of faith. I believe in prayer and meditation and just quieting down your mind. Of course, therapy to help you through the situation, but more than anything, knowing and telling yourself every day, I am doing God's work. God, give me the strength. Give me the wisdom. Give me the courage to keep on doing this, because what you're doing is a beautiful thing. You're being selfless, and I know it's a lot, but I promise you, just knowing that God has something amazing for you. And I know you're not doing it for that, but just know that you're doing something good, and that your tia, I'm sure, absolutely appreciates it. So you are there because you're meant to be there. Tell yourself every single day, and breathe. Deep, intentional breathing helps. Victoria, wow. I hope I get to meet you one day. Okay. Sending you another big, big hug. Thank you so much for your question, and I really hope that I was able to help. All right, so our next question comes from Cecilia.
Hi, Janae. Congratulations on your engagement. I had a question, though. You mentioned in your book, as well as previous episodes, that you felt unsure, uneasy, just something telling you that you were not making the right choice by marrying Lorenzo. And you just mentioned that you kind of were feeling the same thing about Emilio. Do you think this is a sign? Is it different? If so, how? How do you know that it's not, like that instinct that is just not right? I'm honestly curious because I have a lot of things happening and I don't know how to differentiate between my gut instinct and just my anxiety or fear. Thank you. Congrats again.
Hi, Cecilia. Thank you. I really like your question. I appreciate it very much. Here's the thing. From the very beginning of my relationship with Zoe, I knew something was off. I felt it in my spirit. Sometimes what I do is I close my eyes and I ask myself, okay, do I have peace with this decision? And I don't know how to explain it. And it's going to be very hard for me to verbalize it, but it's something that you just feel in your chest, in your tummy, where you're just like, you feel relaxed. When you ask yourself, do I have peace with this? And you feel tension and your chest tightens up and your tummy like doesn't feel right. That's when you know your spirit, your soul is telling you this isn't good for you. And that's a thing with that relationship without taking anything away from it. Because again, I learned so much from my past and I'm grateful with my past. I just knew he wasn't ready. And that's okay. He wasn't ready. And I knew it. I just knew. I was like, I know that I'm ready to give my all and to make this work and to do things the right way. But I just knew, I'm like, he's not. There are still things that he wants to do. He wants to still party and do things that I'm just not okay with. And I found myself having more sad days and more anxiety, and I was frustrated and irritated, and it was just so many negative emotions that I'm like, this isn't good. It's really, really taking a toll on me. And I just stood in the relationship for the lack of not being alone, I guess you could say. That's a codependency thing that I've been working on my whole life. But it felt different. Now with Emilio, the only reason I thought of letting him go was because I felt that I wasn't being my best self, maybe, or I felt like I was being my best self, like I was doing everything and I could to make the relationship work, but I felt like maybe it's just not enough. And I felt like, okay, maybe I don't deserve him. But when he asked me to marry him, I felt like, oh my God, he's absolutely ready. I'm ready. You know what I mean? I'm ready. We want the same things. Like, I know that he's not going to disappear on me at night and I can't get a hold of him for hours. Like, he doesn't do things like that. Like, I don't know. I just have peace. And I asked myself and I'm like, I feel happy. I feel happy. I want to go look at venues. Like, it's just so different. And not that I wasn't excited before, but I just don't know how to explain it. Now I'm just like, oh my God, this feels just like happy and just bright and light. And we're on the same page. I don't know. He's just ready. And it's hard. It's hard to answer your question because it's just a feeling that you get. But I would suggest for you to just ask yourself, do I have peace with this decision? Is this bringing me more happiness or is it bringing me more sadness, more anxiety, more tension in my chest? That's where you kind of have to weigh it out and write down the pros and the cons of what, I don't know the situation that you're going through, but that's the best advice I can give you. So I hope it helps. And I hope I was able to answer your question and, hopefully I was clear. Okay, so our next question comes from Abel.
Hey, Chiquis. It's me, Abel, from Houston, Texas. Saludos. Hey, I want to know if it's true que si le vas a pagar un BBL a la Shawty Bae. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are asking you this, pero nomás para meter la nariz, ¿me entiendes? Nomás acá para chismear. Saludos.
Abel, I love it. We don't get a lot of guys on here, so thank you so much. Shout out to H-Town, Houston. Thank you for your question. Okay, guys, so what he's asking me is if I'm going to pay for a BBL for Shawty Bae. Shawty Bae, if y'all don't know who she is, go look her up on TikTok. She's huge on TikTok. But yeah, Shawty is an influencer. She's so funny. Honestly, she makes me laugh. She's so sweet. She's such a sweetheart. But to answer your question, Abel, pues sí. O sea, I mean, if she wants me to, I definitely will. We did talk about it. And for me, it's important for her to get all her tests done, like her blood work, check her heart, make sure she's healthy and ready for it. But if that's what's going to make her happy and I can support her, I'm all about, like, if you want to get surgery, plastic surgery, do your thing. So, Abel, por meter la nariz, it's all good. You're so funny. I love your question. But yes, I would. I got to talk to her actually about it. So thank you, Abel, for your question. Okay, so our last question comes from Yeni.
What do you feel you struggled with the most growing up?
Ooh, I like your question. Straight up and just direct. Thank you, Yeni. Okay, so if I had to choose one thing, I think the biggest thing that I struggled with growing up was not speaking up. Damn, that and just creating boundaries, like, knowing how to say no. It was the biggest thing. Like, even when something didn't feel comfortable with my sexual abuse, from my dad, or just certain things at school, or boys were mean, like just things that I just wouldn't say anything. Like, I wouldn't speak up because I didn't want to disappoint anyone. And that's the worst thing that we could do, because when we do that, then we disappoint ourselves and we're unhappy. So now that I've gotten older, and it took me a long time, to be honest, to speak up and feel strong enough, I guess, or brave enough to just say, no, I don't like that, or that doesn't make me happy, or I don't have peace with that decision. Now it feels good to be able to say, you know what? I don't like that. I'm okay. I can't go, or I don't want to go. Or before it was like, let me try to make every event and let me try to do everything to make everyone happy. And it's just like, oh, I was a people pleaser. That's probably what it is. I struggled with being a people pleaser. Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, Yeni, thank God that ain't the case no more. But it's just, we have so many influences when we're growing up. It's like, we want to fit in. We want to be part of the cool crowd. We don't want to disappoint. We want everyone's approval. So it's like, the only approval and the most important one is yourself and you being happy and being at peace. And wow, if the faster and the sooner you learn that, you guys, the better. So Yeni, thank you for your question, because you just made me reflect right now. I'm like, ooh, I'm on the right track. I'm doing good. Bueno, ese es todo el tiempo que tenemos hoy para contestar tus preguntas. Gracias a Victoria, Cecilia, Abel, y también a Yeni. I love hearing from you guys. You guys make me so happy, and I hope I make you happy too. You can leave me your questions at speakpipe.com/chiquisandchill. I'll see you guys on the next one. Los quiero mucho. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and check us out on YouTube.